Hi, my name is Colin Lauder, and I wanted to give you guys a little background before I give my example of my boss, who, in my opinion, gives off good emotional intelligent traits. Wanted to give you just guys a little backstory, considering this would be probably the only time that we'll interact and meet each other even through the web. I graduated college about 4 years ago, and I took a job in the real estate investment industry, which I currently work in today. And my first job, I did not like at all because my boss, in my opinion, did not display any emotional intelligence traits. I thought he was very hard to work for. The members didn't really respect him as a leader, and I didn't feel like he brought out the best of our group. However, I'm fortunate to say that I took a new job a year and a half ago in Dallas, and I like my boss now quite a bit. I think he displays a lot of emotional intelligence traits and really does bring out the best in the group and has everyone's respect as the overall leader of the group. And he's who I'm going to use today as my example. Uh, and as I said earlier, I do work in the real estate industry and I work in the equity raising team. So I do work on a team atmosphere. We usually have group meetings every day, and I work very closely with 5 other people. So to have leadership among that group is very important. The boss that I do work for today is the one I want to talk about. He's the senior vice president of sales and very easy to work for, very good group leader. And like I said, the team really does enjoy working for him, and we really do want to do our best for him. And in my opinion, he has quite a bit of emotional intelligent traits, and I think a lot of that comes from experience that he's garnered over the time. But the first that I'm most impressed with is social awareness. I think he has a very good feel for the morale of the group and seeing if we're having a good day or a bad day or what direction we need to head. He knows the buttons to push and when not to push them. A good example of this was last week. Um, we were working on a big project for a company out of Austin, and it was a PowerPoint project, and it was over 72 slides, so it took a while to make, and we lost everything due to a computer malfunction with our IT team, and we needed to do it that weekend, and this was on a Wednesday, so obviously we were pretty frustrated, pretty tired, and wasn't at our best spirits, and our boss, our senior vice president, I think he recognized this, and instead of pushing through us or pushing through the night and making us work all night and being tired and being cranky, he gave us the rest of the night off. And the next day, he split the slides up in equal part, and he even himself took a big share of it, which I think impressed us that he would take such a lion's share of the work. And I think that in that case, we did get the work done in time with high quality, and the presentation did go very well. He also is very smart in his self-management techniques. I think he's very good at being the last one to leave and the first one to show up, and working just as hard as the other group members. I think that's very important for a group. The members underneath a leader should be able to see that they want to work just as hard as the members underneath them, and have their respect. And my boss definitely does that. If we show up at 8, he'll show up at 8, and he wants the group members to know that he's going to work just as hard as they are to achieve the task or the goal at hand. Another emotional intelligence trait that I think he possesses that's very important is also self-awareness, not just social, but self-awareness. Um, our senior vice president knows the strengths he has and the weaknesses he has, and he's not afraid to address them to the members, or not even to show, take a back seat to some of the weaknesses he has. A good example of this is we meet every Friday morning. We do a deal meeting, and he's not the strongest with retail real estate deals, and so he usually delegates that to another member of our team and lets them lead that part of the meeting. And I think that's very impressive and good in a young guy like myself in my eyes, because he's not afraid to acknowledge his weaknesses. And even though he's the leader and sometimes it may be hard to sit down and let someone run the meeting, he does this, and I think that shows off very well to the group. And so self awareness is very important. Know how to relate to a member, and how to know your weaknesses and know your strengths. Another good trait that he possesses is he knows how to relate and communicate to all the members, no matter what position an argument is, or a conflict, or whenever a conflict arises. He's able to see where, if there's an argument, and when with raising equity, we have quite a bit of arguments because there's so many approaches we can take to talking to investors and talking to people to try to buy into our product. He's able to take both sides of the argument and find a meeting ground among members, which I think is very important, because sometimes when you're arguing or a conflict arises among a group, you're not getting a lot accomplished. It's just back and forth. Well, he's able to kind of slow everybody down, tap the brakes, and then find a meeting point. And lastly, another thing that he really impresses me on as a member is whenever a problem arises, you look for a leader for solutions. And instead of always giving the standard solution, he'll, come up with 5 different outcomes or 5 different solutions for one problem. And that gives us a lot of choices, a lot of avenues to take, and to, have a lot of options to best tackle the problem. And so in those cases, I think he really does shine as a leader, and it's a privilege to work for him. And hopefully, as I get older, if I stay with this company, I'll really take some of those traits that he possesses and put them to my leadership qualities.